All right, let's welcome another guest to the stage here on NAB Show Live. This is Philippe Generali. He is the president and CEO of RCS World Wide Radio. Basically, if you're listening to a radio station, their software's probably powering it. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Great show.
10,000 stations around the world you power?
That's correct, yes. We've been at it for about 30 years now, so it takes a little bit of time, but eventually we got there.
So I'll tell you a quick story. The first time I ever did a segment for a radio station, I get in there on a Sunday afternoon, I start playing with the system, and I was just amazed at how much of these stations are now automated. And every single little stinger you hear and everything is built into this software. And you guys pretty much came up with that. Tell me what some of the functionality is of what you're doing.
Well, you know, 30 years ago, we started with storing the commercial on a hard drive, which was the computer we were installing were probably less powerful than your iPhone today. But now we can store everything: music, commercial. We can schedule the music with G-Selector. It's basically a professional way to build a playlist, and then we send that to the automation system that's going to play it in the studio. We can have a full crew. The DJ can be walking around the studio with their iPad and starting sound effects and been talking to each other, talking to the public, to the audience. We monitor what's going on from the outside, and we report that in media base for the number of songs, in media measures for the number of spots. So we have a whole chain of products, software, and data collection, which is useful to the industry, we think.
And of course, many of us remember the days of pulling carts. No longer have to do that. How has your software improved the business of radio?
I think it's a subjective question. The professional and us like to think that we brought quality to the industry. It's important when you're making software to get the art out of your customers, because you know we work with people that are half scientists, half artists, creator of content, and we want to make sure that what they want to express is done in the most natural way. So that's what the music scheduling software does. G-Selector is the system that's the #1 worldwide system used, and it's important that what people think, what program directors think, gets heard by the listener. The number of times the song plays, how often it plays, where it plays, and when it plays. And then the execution in the studio has to be flawless. If a DJ or a presenter wants to have a sound effect starts here or starts there, he doesn't have to browse through a list of things. Everything has to be available, and it's important that what we call the hotkeys, where you push a button, the sound comes out, makes it a very natural, very flowing show. So we try to get the art part into a science so that it sounds natural on the air.
It's so interesting, because that's a real challenge for your company versus others that are just implementing technology. You actually have to blend it with someone who's sitting there saying, what I'm doing is an art form. I want this to come in here. I want this song to go here. I want that to happen. And it's not just making it automated, it's really creating that entire system that works for them.
You absolutely got that right. The last thing a listener wants is to know that there's a computer somewhere that's taking care of what he's listening to. He wants to connect with the audience, and especially today, the difference between radio and the playlist creators that you can see on the internet everywhere is that connection with the talent, with the on-air person. So you want to make it sound like it's just one simple guy that's just playing a couple of 45s for all I know, still like back in the old days. But back in the studio, of course, everything is totally digital when there is someone in the studio.
When there is someone still there. Can stations use your software to stream to the web?
Yes, of course, and we have stations that are streaming to the web using our software. We have stations that are creating a couple of hundred channels out of our software. They schedule 100 channels with G-Selector, which is a system that it's the only music scheduling system that allows you to have hundreds of channels out of one database. So when you create an internet station, it's important that you have all the flavors that you want. A little bit more dance, a little bit more rock, a little bit more hip hop, a little bit country, new country, old country, whatever style of music. So you can create the whole palette of channels, which really was impossible to do before because you had to manually do the logs one by one. Now the playlists are done, and you can do that in a snap, and then you send it to your automation system, which will play all those channels. You don't even need a sound card; it goes right to the stream and right to the internet. So I think what's important today is the number of channels that you want to create where you're on the internet, because when you're a radio programmer, you create content, the possibilities are endless. You have no limit to the number of channels that you want to do. So you want to be able to have several creator of content so that you can do several times, several hundred channels.
What is RCS Worldwide showing off here at the show?
We have our new automation system, Zeta, version 3, which is a phenomenal automation system. Please stop by our booth to check it out. We have a big axis on mobile this year. You know that the world is going mobile. Desktop is out. That's what came out of every convention where we go, and people work with iPad, works with mobile phone, work with phablet, with devices that are mobile. The world is mobile, and we want our software to be mobile. So we have Zeta to Go, which is a companion to Zeta 3, which allows the DJ and the presenter to control the system on tablet from anywhere in the world, really. In the studio, of course, so you don't have to be behind the console to start everything. But also the programming, Selector to Go. G-Selector is a system that can be programmed from anywhere, and it allows the PD to be responsive. If he wants to check out his schedule from home on a tablet, he can do that. And if Paul McCartney gets married tomorrow, another time, we'll be able to do a special about Paul McCartney on the station from his couch, really, using his mobile, his tablet, his iPad, or whatever he wants. So we have a big emphasis on mobile. And we have a variety of new features that make the system sound like it's not there, which is really the paradox.
The big challenge of your company, blend it in so you don't even know what's there, but it's super powerful behind the scenes.
You absolutely got that right.
Philippe Generali, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
The CEO of RCS Worldwide Radio. Some really neat stuff that you guys are doing to power all of those stations out there. Thanks for being here on NAB Show Live.